Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tammy Bile, Vice President of Marketing at Club OS. Welcome to today's webinar, Lead Generation Through Membership Sales in the Digital Mobile Age, which explores guidelines for harnessing the power of the internet to boost your bottom line. I'm excited to have Bill Konstand share his knowledge, insights, and experience with us today. Bill is president and founder of TAG Digital Marketing, a company that offers consulting and digital marketing services to Fortune 500 brands and thousands of small businesses for more than 17 years. In 1999, Bill founded TAG and earned one of the first designations as a Google Platinum agency and an original expert partner agency of all major search engines. With the introduction of the smartphone in 2007, he realized that the greatest change in communication was imminent. Bill repositioned TAG to help small business and franchise owners gain more clients and bridge the gap between corporate and local marketing. Today, Bill will be talking about generating leads through membership sales in the mobile digital age. Please note, this session is being recorded and will be made available to you shortly after we wrap up. We will have time for Q&A following Bill's presentation. Please submit them now through the webinar question box on your screen. With that, without further ado, please welcome Bill Konstand. Take it away, Bill.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Tammy, and obviously thank you to our partners at Club OS for hosting another great webinar. I also understand that we had a record subscription to this specific webinar, so we appreciate everybody showing up to a topic that I know from our experience is of great interest to everybody in the fitness industry, and that is harnessing digital marketing, trying to attract members and using all digital sources to attract new revenue. So without further ado, we'll get on into it, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll open the floor up for questions. The topics that we're going to cover today are the historic shift from print to digital. A lot of people don't know how we got to where we're at as far as this great marketing shift that's happened, so we'll explore that just a bit. Millennial buyers and how they've changed the game, and how you can reach and capture buyers 40 and under, but also buyers 45 and under, because our research indicates that buyers under 45 are buying just like the millennials. Traditional versus digital marketing. What is working right now at the hundreds and hundreds of health clubs that we represent, and what's not working? The media mix, how much of each source or channel is appropriate for maximum revenue. Free trial pass or join online, how to determine what's best for each buyer, and your club's price point and amenities, and how that should influence the way that you market and the way that you promote your club. So print to digital. Obviously, this is a historic shift in consumer habits and in consumer communication. This is the greatest shift in the history of human communication. Digital ads obviously have replaced traditional ads. With that, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. But if you look at this chart on the left, the current rate of change in 4 years, this chart is basically indicating that there's not going to be any traditional ad spend in the next 3 to 4 years. If no one responds to traditional ads, advertisers will not pay. It's just that simple. Large companies and smart marketing departments have already left traditional spend a long time ago. And as you probably know, it's usually not the best practice if you're a business owner to be the last to purchase anything with a documented declining value. What they say about the stock market is when the end of a big bull market, the dumb money all comes running in. So if you're still purchasing direct mail, print, or radio, just bear in mind, you are the final purchaser of that tool that has basically become extinct. Kind of like stocking up on Betamax tapes in the 80s. And for you youngsters who have no idea what I just said, ask an old fart to understand that joke. 95% of all gym prospects will now research online before they join. That's huge. But you might not realize that 60% of all the ad dollars are now controlled by two companies, Google and Facebook. This is unprecedented throughout history. And it just means that things are moving in a way that nobody had anticipated, and that you have to understand these primary networks if you want to make sure that you're going to make profit going forward. This is staggering. We've been a top Google agency since 2006, when Google had about 8% market share. Back then, people were laughing at Google, saying they might go out of business next year. We never saw this coming. Nobody did. Nobody saw the smartphone coming the way that it did. Google was struggling back then, and few saw this coming. But in times like this, times of historic change, as a business owner, you've got to be informed. You've got to be smart. Now, I want you all to do something for me. I want you to either look at or touch your smartphone. Now, I'm not David Copperfield or David Blaine, but I know that everybody either did it or thought about doing it, because as a business owner or management personnel today, you just can't do it without having a smartphone. Americans are simply addicted. And this is the device that got us here, responsible for the fastest change in the history of communication. You know, smartphones didn't exist back in 2005. A few people had BlackBerries. But today, 8 in 10 adults owns one. Most are hopelessly addicted, checking them hundreds or even thousands of times every single day. Thousands of times some people check their smartphones. Whereas people used to have to sit down and fire up a slow desktop computer, and all they could really do is research things like book reports. Today, those same consumers have a lightning-fast supercomputer right in their pocket. These phones are designed with the same psychology as a slot machine. In fact, they're designed by the same firms that design slot machines to keep you playing. When I founded TAG in '99, no one got local information online. When local businesses would come to our building and say, "Hey, TAG, can you help us with local marketing?" we would say, "You don't want to do that. Your business, your local business, is all marketed by direct mail, yellow pages, TV, radio." By now, most smart business owners are well aware that the smartphone created this change that sent information to the internet. Now the web is the only source of up-to-date and on-demand information about your health clubs that is available anywhere, because it's the only source of local business information. So the smartphone came along in 2007. By the end of 2018, 80% of all Americans were using it. But at the same time, nobody knew about social media around 2005. Some of my hip friends in California were using it. They thought it was really cool. But today, 70% of Americans now use social media every single day. Now, these are two changes that have happened. They are happening independently of one another. Each of these changes, the smartphone adoption and social media usage, in and of itself would be historic in scope and scale of how it changed communication. But the two of them happening together is a change that is about as rare as the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. And if you're slow to adopt to this change, they're going to be picking through your bones and looking at you like the dinosaur and telling you a cautionary tale about you. You want to make sure that you're keeping up to date with what is going on around you. Back in 2013, I was telling people what's going on. Today, these are changes that I'm telling you about that have already happened. If you have not adapted already, you are at an extreme disadvantage. So as a business owner, you've got to know what is going on in your industry, how people are buying your product. It's vital. Online purchasing is at an all-time high. Brands like Planet Fitness and 24-Hour Fitness are rumored to have join online rates of up to 30%. Those are many people that are joining these clubs and buying online before they ever step foot in the club. But as an ABC partner and as a firm that works with hundreds and hundreds of health clubs, I can tell you that most of the health clubs we work with and that we speak with have a join online rate of somewhere between 1% and 3%. Now, before you say, no, ours is much higher, I'm not talking about the tablets that you have in your clubs where people can go and join. I'm not talking about your GMs entering deals into your online database and counting that as a join online. I mean prospects that go straight from search or social to the website and they just join. And these are the group that has done it. These selfie-loving millennials will actually reach 40 this year. I cannot believe it's 40. It just blows me away that the millennials are 40, but now they are. Online enrollment for them is a vital option. So it's vital that you stop thinking like old people and understand that online enrollments are going to be a key part of your future membership base now and in the future. So yeah, I mean, I feel really old that my little sister is 38 and that the millennials are turning 40. It's just mind-boggling. Millennials as a generation are defined by those that are 22 to 37 years old, but our research indicates that pretty much everybody under the age of 45 are now making most purchases like millennials. Everybody has adopted smartphones. Everybody has gotten up on social media, but millennials are a different buyer than we're used to. Millennials only spend 2/3 of what baby boomers spend and Gen X spends on entertainment. 40% of millennials will look up reviews and online before purchasing anything. They require it. But probably the most staggering statistic here, it goes deeper. Only 11% of millennials expect that their next purchase is going to be in a store somewhere. And these changes, again, this is not just a change. This is a buyer's revolution that has happened, and something that you need to pay very close attention to. Did you ever think that these things would be possible? Now, I'm 48 myself. If you are my age or maybe just a little bit younger or a little bit older, these type of things that I'm about to show you here would have seemed unthinkable 20 years ago. Carvana. People are actually buying $50,000, $100,000 used cars, sight unseen. They ship them. They put them in a vending machine, send you a coin, and the coin pops the car out. It's called Carvana, and it's huge. Poshmark. You can actually buy clothes right out of somebody's closet. You can buy them off of eBay too. Somebody's, nasty shoes or clothes that you've never seen or smelled. They order them right over the internet, and they love it. Poshmark and eBay are revolutionizing the used clothing industry. And companies like M. Taylor, where you can actually put your smartphone against the wall and it will measure you for a suit just like a tailor would. And what are these people trying to avoid? What do all these industries have in common on the left column? Well, they're trying to avoid your salespeople. And that is what they have in common with the fitness industry. Millennial buyers hate the traditional sales process. They will go to great lengths to avoid it. They don't want to sit down with a card salesman for the most part. They don't want to be sold clothes that they feel that they don't need. They don't want to be upsold anything. What they want to do is they want to buy on their own terms and for their own reason. And since they now control the good portion of the ad dollars, they have the right to claim that. So now we know that what we're up against, and now we know what the newer buyer is sort of looking like. What marketing is driving new member revenue right now? What do we see with all the clubs that we're working with? I'm sure you've heard that direct mail, TV, radio, they stopped producing any type of trackable results years ago. My agency has now worked with over 1,000 gyms and health clubs, and we have an inside look. There are a few exceptions. For example, for some reason, when a new club opens up, they'll get some traction out of 1 or 2 email drops, and then it drops precipitously like a stone to nothing. Radio stations are basically giving away radio spots. They're not giving it away. They're giving you something that nobody else seems to want to buy. And don't take my word for it. What you want to do is check around with top owners and executives in the industry. We work with a lot of the top names in the industry, and without fail, those who were feasting on direct mail in particular 10 years ago now believe it does not produce any real results. I challenge you to go find anybody who is extremely successful that's using direct mail with any type of regularity, because it simply does not produce results anymore. In fact, if you track your ROI meticulously on those traditional sources, as we've found doing this at the fitness centers that we work at, most of the sales that we found being attributed to direct mail in particular and other traditional sources, we believe were coming in anyway. We call those incidental sales, errantly sourced to one of the traditional marketing sources for whatever reason. Probably one of the big reasons is that your industry has been able to rely on the direct mailer for decades. When you have done something for decades, when you are at the end of a marketing super cycle, as we are right now, it is hard to look at numbers that have been the same for decades and decades and look at numbers that have changed and actually believe that those numbers have changed in the way that they have. So track your ROI meticulously. And one of the things that we tell our clients, if you're still using direct mail, is be cautious and do not trust the direct mail, what they call the back match. For those of you who don't know what the back match is a direct mail provider will take your sales list for last month, and they will say, hey, where did we send a direct mail card to? If we send a direct mail card to a household, that household, it comes up on the sales list, then that must be the reason that somebody that drove them into join. No causation. They're not looking for the card to come in. They're not looking for somebody to look for a specific offer. They're just saying, hey, if that household shows up, it's a back match and it's a sale that we'll attribute to direct mail. But there is no causation to this tracking. Just because you send a mail piece to the same house that you've sent it to for the past 20 years, and someone came in from that address and joined, it means nothing. As an example, direct mail needs a hook. Everybody knows that. If you have a flowery piece of direct mail that has pictures of your club and says, we are the best club in town, come and join, you would hear crickets. Now, if you put a hook on there, $1 to join, $9.99 a month, something like that, that's what we call a hook. It's the financial incentive to get any response, and that's the fulcrum that you use. And those leads, then, if you're thinking about it, they become the easiest to track, because those people who are coming in for that financial incentive are going to demand that financial incentive. They're not just going to come in and pay you retail when 30 minutes ago they were looking at a card that says $9.99 a month. They're going to slam that card down on the table, and they're going to say, no, club owner. I know you want to sell me this high-priced membership, but you sent me $1 to join, or you sent me $9.99 a month, and that's exactly what I want. Those leads, those prospects are expecting a bait and switch, so they are ready. So unless you believe that somebody would be motivated by a piece of direct mail within the last 24 hours, and then all of a sudden the reason that they came in they forget about and they come in and pay you retail, then you just can't believe those type of tracking sources. Also, one of the things that we recommend is that you put tracking URLs and phone numbers in every radio and TV spot if you happen to still be using those sources. Tracking URLs, a vanity website that forwards through to your website that'll be picked up by Google Analytics. If you run 2 months worth of radio spots, granted, not a lot of people will go from the radio to the internet, but I shouldn't say that. Most everybody goes to the internet for everything. But you're going to see that either people are going to that vanity URL or they're calling that tracking number or they're not. If you run a radio campaign that's just made it as an awareness campaign for a month or 2 months, and you have a vanity URL like gyminmycity.com that forwards to your own website, and nobody goes to that vanity URL, nobody goes to that one you use specifically for that radio or TV spot, it means that nobody is out there listening. Consumers now bank online, they pay their bills online. The device that used to be used only for a phone call now can show a prospect every gym and amenity within 5 miles. This is smartphone disruption creeping up to claim another victim. Hope is not an effective strategy. You need to know where all your marketing dollars are going today, and you need to know exactly what those marketing dollars are paying back if you want to keep up. What we feel is working the best right now is search engine marketing. Search engines are the only transactional marketing source that is available today. In the past, before the internet, advertisers and ad agencies had absolutely no idea when you as a consumer planned to purchase a product or service. So they used traditional media like radio, print, television spots to keep that brand message in front of you so that when you did want that product or service, you would remember. But today, the game has changed completely. Consumers now have the control. They can go to search engines, predominantly Google, because Google has a 94% market share by our best numbers right now, and type in the name of any product or service they want to buy at the moment they want to buy it. This moment is known as the impact moment or the peak of the decision process. And the search engines for local businesses have brought the ability to target people at the peak of the decision process to clubs where they had never had the ability before. Search engine marketing, we believe, is the most effective form of marketing in fitness today because specifically that you reach prospects at that peak of the decision process. But search marketing is extremely complex. You've got pay-per-click, search engine optimization, local search, maps optimization, video marketing. All are aspects of this vital marketing source. And it's imperative that your marketing team knows exactly how much budget and how much resource to allocate to each overall aspect of search engine marketing. As an example, Google on their organic search engine last year had over 400 algorithm changes. What's an algorithm? It's what determines the rules of the search engines. Who's going to appear high, who's going to appear low, who's going to get thrown off the index. And the way that Google maintains the integrity of their network is by changing the rules violently and often so that when people try to scam the network, they cannot do it for very long. So Google changed the rules of their organic search engine 400 times last year. Paid networks, PPC, which for Google is probably where the majority of your marketing dollars should be going, they charge on a performance basis now. If you remember with direct mail, the cost of postage was set by the US government. And that means that there was a big margin for error. What do I mean by that? That means that when everybody is paying 42 cents to reach a household, then it would be impossible for somebody to pull way far away from the pack and do extremely better. And it would also be very difficult for somebody to fall too far behind. That standard of postage made it so direct mail was kind of an easy marketing source to use. Now, television and radio, same basic deal. The prices were set by big conglomerates. If you got 10% off here or there, you had a great media buyer. But when used with a maximum effect, search engine leads are the most motivated leads possible. The exponential difference in PPC prices makes it very difficult, though. What do I mean by that? On the Google PPC network, they charge on a performance basis, which basically means that two advertisers on the same page in front of the same person could pay tenfold difference if somebody clicks on the ads. So one advertiser might pay $1 for a click that another advertiser might be charged $10 for. This is a type of marketing and a form of marketing that our industry is simply not used to. Local SEO, very important part of the process as well. You want to appear on the maps. You want to be everywhere that you can be on the search page. And local SEO and map search, very difficult. There are hundreds of different directories in addition to your Google directory that you need to maintain and upkeep, because Google considers the information on all of these local business directories that are found on mobile devices as a part of your search engine optimization score. I can tell you that these type of leads, these highly motivated search engine leads, can exponentially increase your walk-ins and TIs. In the fitness industry, we've got three types of leads that we deal with. The online trial member signups, they're great. During the peak season, TAG will probably be churning off about 2,000 of those a day for fitness centers coast to coast. But they're not as good as the TI, the phone inquiry. Somebody who bypasses the form on your website and picks it up and says, hey, club owner, I'm looking at your website. I like what I see. How much is a membership? Much more motivated, and you don't have to chase them to get that free trial membership initiated and activated. But none of those leads are as vital or as powerful as the unsolicited, unscheduled walk-in. Somebody who you've never heard from before that kicks open the door and says, I'm here, I like what I saw online, give me a tour of this club. That is a lead that closes almost every single time. The majority of your new members should be coming directly from search, or you are losing market share. Now, social media. Obviously, social media is the buzzword in the fitness industry. You might ask, why is social the buzzword and not search, given the information that we just saw? Well, social is pretty easy to navigate compared to the search engines. Search is complex, but social is relatively easy, but the leads are far less motivated. What do I mean by that? There's no place on Facebook where a prospect can type in a term like best gym near me and get up-to-date info when they are ready to join. You can't get on-demand information on the social media sites like Facebook. So if you're in the buying cycle, you've got to wade through all kinds of information to find what you're looking for. Facebook is a broadcast mechanism, so is Instagram, much like direct mail was. You're never reaching anybody at the peak of the decision process. However, you do get plenty of leads, and even sales. So there, you should optimize your efforts. Facebook and Instagram require very strict budget allocation. There are at least 9 different ad platforms on Facebook and Instagram. There are boosted posts. There are events. You've got to know exactly how you're going to allocate your budget and how you're going to use that budget to get the maximum number of new members without wasting any of that ad dollar spend. You can promote innovative contests for organic growth. Organic growth is the growth that you don't pay for by an action, like a pay-per-click. For example, the check-in and win a dream vacation contest that TAG has promoted have generated now over 50 million free ads in the form of recommendations from one friend to another for the health clubs that we work with. You can integrate your member lists for targeting in Facebook, and this is important, and you should be doing this. Although Facebook is a broadcast mechanism, they have left a lot of tools so that we can tell them how to search out people that are just like our members, or create audiences of people that we hope we're going to get into the club. The lookalike audiences, the mirrored audiences they create are very powerful. But again, you've got to know that this is a broadcast mechanism. This is a conversational tool. It is not transactional. People don't go here when they're in the decision process, but it is a great way to influence people and get them into the club. Social media is a great way to reach 70% of Americans at play. So you should use it, and we do use it every single day. Now, also, nurturing leads through the sales cycle is important now, and it has been, and it's going to be forever. Email and text drip campaigns should be automatically going out with every single lead. If you've got a robust program of leads coming in and a robust digital marketing program, you should also use a CRM lead integration like a Club OS, because these leads will start to get away from you quickly. Salespeople are notoriously lazy. Management can be that way as well. You need to know that when you're paying a lot of money for these leads, and digital leads are not cheap, you want to make sure that they're being worked all the way through their lead cycle without fail. And email and SMS text strips are a good way to do that. Remarketing on Google and Facebook is a huge way to keep your message in front of interested buyers until they decide. Remarketing. For those of you who don't know what this term is, I want you to think about when you were on the internet looking at, say, a product on Amazon. Then when you went out to the rest of the internet, that specific product was on every major website that you saw, or if you were looking for airfare. And then all of a sudden, when you went back out of the internet, every website you saw had that specific airfare right there in front of you. That's not people advertising those airfares or those products on those websites. They've set a cookie in your computer, and they're following you around until you purchase, until you're out of the sales cycle. Everybody should be using remarketing as a part of their overall process. Keeping your message in front of motivated prospects is just something that is imperative for leads that come from the digital space. And we recommend that our clients avoid unproven new technologies and alternative networks that simply have not had any traction, especially in the fitness industry. There is a big difference between the fitness industry and the 9 other industries that we work within. And I can tell you, as most of you on this call know, fitness is different. Taking people through this delicate funnel all the way through a trial membership to paid membership is something unlike any other industry. So even platforms like a Yelp that I'm going to talk about in a minute that might work in the restaurant industry have found absolutely no success, as we have seen in the fitness industry. So you have to be cautious. I will say right out of the gate that in my humble belief and in our research and in all the clients that have come to us, geofencing, and I know a lot of you are going, oh no, it is a scam. Sorry, but it is. The way that it's promoted, the technology really does not exist for it to be out there. Is it possible that you can reach a small amount of people that are in your competitor's club? Maybe, but I want you to think about this carefully. What the geofencing is promoted as, you can put a digital fence all the way around your competitor, and as soon as somebody enters that fence, you can serve them an ad. But where do you serve the ad to? Look at your smartphone again. If it's just open, you can't serve an ad to the home page of your smartphone. It has to be within an app. Google and Facebook, the most utilized apps on the internet, and all the other big, most utilized apps, they would never participate in anything like that. Even when you remarket on Google, they never feed you any information about who that person is. So then you're down to the very small apps like an Angry Birds or game apps or something like that. So is it possible that somebody's in one of your competitor clubs and you see, and on Angry Birds, they see a banner ad for you if they happen to be within that app at that moment? Yeah, but that might be 0.01% of all the people you're looking to. Certainly not worth $1,000 or $2,000 a month. We actually just, for a client just yesterday, evaluated a geo-marketing. It was basically a scam by one of the biggest radio networks that there are out there. What happened? And if you've done any type of geofencing, look at this for yourself. We went to Google Analytics when they said there was 1,800 clicks that came through. This is a club that obviously relies on people from a local geographic area. And the clicks, according to Google Analytics, were coming from all over the world. Now, if you are a club in the middle of Austin, Texas, you don't need visitors from Seattle, Washington, or New York City, New York. You need people that are coming in from Austin, Texas. They're the only ones who can join your health club. We've had a lot of run-in and sort of issue with Yelp over the past several years. I'm not telling you to use them or not to use them, but what I would say is this is what usually gets those guys running. Ask them for solid references of anybody just like you in your specific industry. Now, Yelp has one of the most aggressive sales teams, as you know, anywhere on the planet. If Yelp was the panacea that they promote it to be for the fitness industry, everybody'd be using it. I wouldn't be in business. We wouldn't be serving the fitness industry because everybody would be on Yelp. I have never had one client that has come to us that has used Yelp in the past that wasn't struggling to get out of a year-long commitment after the first month that they did it. Again, your mileage may vary. Don't sue me, Yelp. This is just my opinion. But unfortunately, we have not found anybody that has had any success with Yelp. So again, it goes back to the platform. Make sure that the platform is right for your industry. Now, the fitness industry has sort of a long marketing cycle where somebody's going to spend an hour or two a day in a club. They need to understand a lot about the club. They need to know what's there. They need to make a decision and go through a lot of things. Yelp probably does great for restaurants. We don't work with any restaurants, but with a restaurant, you eat 3 meals a day. You could read a menu and look at 50 reviews and say, yes, I'm going to give that a shot. So I would imagine Yelp works pretty well for restaurants. For the fitness industry, at least in our experience, not as good. And one of the things, especially for Yelp, that you want to do if you've used them in the past or if you want to use them in the future is compare your past results on the free network to the paid network. What do I mean by that? If you open up your Google Analytics, Yelp, even if you've never paid them a penny, is already sending you a certain amount of traffic. So when you are determining if you've had any success with Yelp advertising in particular, what you have to do is you have to say, hey, what traffic and what conversions was I getting from Yelp and I didn't pay them a penny? And now what traffic and what conversions am I getting and how do I back that out of the money that I'm paying them? At least in the experiences that we've had and that all of our clients have had, and we survey our clients all the time because we always want to bring better marketing tools to our clients. Nobody that we speak to has had any success. I have been asking the people at Yelp for 3 years now for references, as they call us all the time, asked us to be a partner agency. I said, just send us some references. You guys are working with a lot of clubs. Find me somebody who's going to say that they're getting a great ROI, and we've yet to get that from them. So just like anything else in life, you got to remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. The digital world is no different than the non-digital world when it comes to that. There are hundreds of potential ways to allocate your ad dollars online, to choose wisely. Once again, you are in an industry that was spoiled for decades. You relied on the direct mailer. The direct mailer, anybody who says that the direct mailer didn't almost single-handedly build the fitness industry is dreaming. It did. For decades, club owners just had to push the direct mail button, ring the dinner bell, and people came running. You didn't even have to think about it. That was the one way you had to spend money, and it really didn't matter too much about the creative on the card. There really is no targeting because the addresses around the club are finite. Unless you're in an area that's expanding, these addresses don't change. So if you're sending a lot of direct mail, you send to the same houses every 6 months, every 4 months, every 8 months. There's a lot of margin for error is what I mean. So you've got to make sure that you choose wisely. What our current allocations are, the media mix that we are using right now that we use to great effect, and again, it depends on the brand, the club, and the markets, but 70 to 80% on search, 20 to 30% on social. Why go anywhere but the finish line when search engines today allow you to go straight to the finish line? And what I mean is what I've said on that is when people are ready to make a decision on their terms, for their reasons, not yours, they'll go to Google and they'll type in gym near me. And when they do, you have got to know how to get that traffic, accept it, bring it into your funnel, and bring it all the way through to paid membership. When somebody comes to a web search page or to your website from a search query, this is on desktop, mind you, you have 2.7 seconds to let them know they're in the right place and that they should read further. We can't rustle the numbers for mobile just yet, but they're going to be much less. It's a much smaller screen. 2.7 seconds, not a lot of time. So your approach, the way that you approach members and the way that you bring them into your funnel is vital because this fast-moving web traffic will move on you quickly. Customize enrollment options to the preference of your prospects. So free pass, trial, join online. How do you determine what is best for each buyer? Well, obviously, with what I mentioned earlier, these new buyers that are coming up, these millennials, they want to buy on their own terms and they want to avoid the sales process. So our firm has gone from a stance of really not as much join online to, hey, you got to make sure that these younger buyers have a way that they can join online. And that's not just the process. If you're an ABC client, you'll be happy to know that TAG just developed a software package that goes over the top of My iClub Online that will revolutionize the way that people join online. We believe that it is as strong a process as Planet Fitness. Planet, of course, being another ABC client that does not use the current My iClub Online system as it is. But the point is, you've got to make sure that you set up a process where people can join online for their own reasons and on their own terms if you want to catch these millennial buyers. Diversity in join options is going to increase your sales. Lack of diversity is going to decrease them. There's no two ways about it. Trial membership link for conversion. We get asked this question a lot as new clubs come to us. Should I be giving a 7-day pass? Should I be giving a 3-day pass? Should I be giving a 10-day pass, a 14-day pass? We have not seen much difference in anything 5 days and above as to the conversion. And we often tell club owners that you should go and look at your own sales cycle numbers to find out. If you're running a 14-day pass prior and you find that most of the people join between the 10th and the 14th day of that 14-day pass, obviously you probably want to stick with a 14-day pass. People are needing a little bit longer to wind out your club. If you are running a 14-day pass and you find out that most people are joining within 5 days, then you might want to click back to a 7-day pass so that you make sure that you don't junk up your club with a lot of people that are on passes that were probably going to join sooner anyways. Gift with a free pass. This has been a big one lately. Should you offer a free trial pass and give a free gift card for Amazon right along with it? Our research and our team says absolutely not. When we give somebody a free pass for a club, we want to make sure that the only motivation for using that pass is a desire to use the club. I've got 22 and 23-year-olds, I'm sure in my neighborhood, that if I offered them a free gym pass and a $20 Amazon gift card, they would show up for that Amazon gift card or a free set of headphones or a free anything. It does not matter. Now, once somebody has come in and or once they've registered for that pass, if you want to send them a text and say, hey, by the way, if you come in and initiate that pass, we'll give you a $5 iTunes gift card or something like that, that's different. But you have to be careful when you're giving away something for free, not to influence the motivation or not to jeopardize the motivation of why people are coming in. So we recommend that you not give away anything free with any type of free gift along with a free pass. The free pass should be the only motivating factor. It's the way that you know that people are coming in only for the reason of wanting to potentially join a club. We also are starting to use the hybrid sale that we can use during the trial period. And what do I mean by that? With this new software package that we've developed to enhance the join online process for our ABC clients, what we're also doing is starting to send prospects, trial members, texts as soon as they initiate their trial pass. So it's 7-day pass, they come in, we change the permissions so that somebody will actually give us permission to text along with their waiver of getting hurt inside the club, and then boom. We start to send them texts. We start to try and bring them back into that join online process while they're using the free pass. Why do we do that? And why are we putting a lot of emphasis on the join online? Because brands like Planet and 24 Hour, if the industry whispers are correct and they have 25 to 30% joining online, they're crushing you, not just in member initiation, but they're paying 25 or 30% less sales commissions. They're paying 25 or 30% less salespeople to stand around. They're paying 25 or 30% less in sales management. So it is vital that we try and get as many people, especially people who are already in the club, to join during that process and to join online. You've got to let new members purchase on the terms that they prefer, not the way that you would like to do business. This industry has gotten very complacent because we've been able to hammer people into deals and high pressure people into this. That's not the way it's going to work into the future. Your buyers, 45 and under, which is the mecca of fitness buyers, they are buying like millennials now. For the most part, they are millennials. Understand the rules or you will suffer the consequences. Now, also price point and amenities. Whether you're an HVLP provider, whether you're an ultra premium club like an Equinox, you have got to know how to stay in your lane and you've got to know your competitive landscape. Because in this industry, we've got the HVLP providers like Anytime and like Planet. We've got the premium providers. Right in between there, we've got clubs like EOS that have premium amenities along with an HVLP type price. They've got the premium providers that are charging anywhere between $30 and $75 a month. And we've got the ultra premium lifestyle brands. This is the Cherry Creek Athletic Club. I think probably the most devastatingly awesome health club that I've ever been in. One of our former clients that we just helped package up and sell to Lifestyle Club. And then, of course, the one that's the most well-known, Equinox. These clubs at the high end have got to be aware of protecting their brand, as I know that they are. Protecting brand identity is very important, especially for those high-end clubs, but it's also extremely important for the clubs right in the middle. Planet Fitness in particular, and anytime now that they've got this PE money, are going to be spreading their message all over the place. But Planets, as you know, don't have group fitness, they don't have childcare. It is important for our clubs that are charging $30 or $40 a month to separate themselves so that they're not sort of chunked into that pile with the Planet Fitnesses of the world, and people think they already know what you have inside. Remember, 80% of the people have never had a health club membership. Most have never stepped foot inside a health club. It is a mistake to believe or to assume that they know what goes on inside of a health club or that they know the things that we're talking about here today. They do not. We always advise clients to use extreme caution when you're talking about discounting. This is actually one of the reasons that we use search engines so much. When we reach search leads, somebody who in an instant, say, I'm looking for the best health club in Orlando, Florida, we meet them at the peak of the decision process, and we don't have to offer any type of a discount. We can immediately start to build the value. We don't have to use discount as the leverage point when they just told us 2 seconds ago that they were looking to join a gym. If you are going to discount, you have to use extreme caution because, again, you don't want to be at a whiff sounding like a club like Planet, or at a glance like a club like Planet if you have group fitness and if you have childcare. Nothing against Planet. They have got one of the best things going of any company in our industry that there's ever been. But if you have a club that is $20 to $50 a month and you do have group fitness and you do have childcare, it is imperative that the people in the community know that. You don't want to get hurt by the glance economy. What do I mean by the glance economy? You have got so much information flying at prospects, flying at everybody 24/7 that they don't often read a lot of things. What they do is they glance. They glance at this, they glance at that. So one of the reasons that we are big on not discounting, if you've got a $30 a month club, not putting out direct mail or emails that say $9.99 a month, because at a glance, people who have never been in your health club might assume that you're just like Planet Fitness and they want group fitness. And they say, oh yeah, they're $9.99 a month. They must be just like those guys that don't have childcare and don't have group fitness, so I don't want them. That is how the glance can hurt you. It is important for our clubs that are in that $20 to $40 range and $50 range to immediately distance themselves from the big brand that is known all over the place, but is also known not to have something that 25 to 28% of the people want that walk into health club, which is group fitness, and another 10 or 15% want, which is childcare. Now, what we do recommend, and what a lot of our clients do use to success, is something that we innovated called the whiff approach. What is the whiff approach? Well, you give them a little whiff that even though you have premium amenities, you might have a page up there that shows group fitness and shows your childcare, but you say we have memberships as low as or starting at $19.99 a month. That is the whiff. Give them a whiff that you can meet those lower price, but that you have all of these ultra premium amenities that a lot of the very low price providers do not have. Never, ever discount ultra premium. I came across somebody recently that was doing this, and it's something that we are so against, I can't even tell you. People, if you have a club that's charging $100, $120, $140 a month, the people that you're expecting to join that club, they drive Mercedes and BMWs, they live in big homes, they don't expect the things that they buy to be discounted. It devalues the product, it devalues the brand. If you are in a club or you are in a brand that is charging $60 a month or higher, it is vital that you do not discount, that you do not cheapen your brand, because it will come back and bite you in the end. Not to mention that any type of discounting, when it's the type of discounting that is deep, so what it does is it pisses off your current members. And that's one thing that you do not want to do. You don't want to discount, you don't want to cheapen your brand, and you don't want all your members to start coming back next week saying, oh, you got a $9.99 membership? Now that's what I want. Okay, folks, I'm about out of breath, and that's about all I've got for today. I appreciate your time, and if anybody has any questions, happy to jump on and answer them for you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bill. That was great. Lots of great information and sage advice about digital marketing. We do have some questions here. So at this time, for those of you, please, once again, please go to the questions section. That should be on the right-hand side of your screen, and I'll be happy to give any of the questions that we have to Bill. Bill, we do have something here. Our first question is from Greg, and his question is this. On a limited budget, is it better to do all search ads, all social media ads, or a mix of both?
Well, no matter the level of budget, when you're talking about strictly digital, you have to stick with the plan. There's a reason that effective strategies, morph and become effective strategies. So the recommendations that we have for our clubs, even if they have very small budgets, would not change. The only time it might change is if the budget gets very small. We might actually allocate even more to search because we don't want to miss any more of those people in the peak of the decision process than we have to. So if a budget is ultra low, we might actually send more over to search. But in general, unless we're talking about an obscenely low budget, we like to keep with the allocations that we have found. And when we do allocations for our clients, we look for clubs that are similar, geos that are similar, demographics that are similar, so that we can give our clients a head start. But no, we don't believe in changing much, again, unless we're talking about an obscenely low budget. And in that case, get as much to search, get as many people in that decision process as you possibly can.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, let's go. Next question is from Allie. And the question is, what about discounting enrollment fees, not monthly dues?
Well, one of the things that we've learned is that, and this is true of just about everything in business, when you are so engrossed in a business, as I am in the fitness industry, as everybody on this call probably is, it's easy to not be able to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who's not completely engrossed in the industry. And most people out there, enrollment fees are something that we talk about internally and that our clubs talk about, but most people don't know about the enrollment fees until they actually come in and they say, holy cow, I got to pay that as an enrollment fee. So that can be a dual-edged sword. If you put that you're going to discount enrollment fees, you're actually bringing it to the forefront that you're going to charge them some type of enrollment fees. And again, it depends on the club itself. I still hold to the maxim that if you've got a $50 or $60 a month or higher club, the people that are typically buying that brand are not used to brands that are discounted, and they're going to look for what's wrong with it when you start to bring out any type of a discount. This has been a big problem as the industry has shifted from print to digital, and as response rates have dropped dramatically. This is always that lever that club owners that are in a panic go to, the discount this, discount that, not realizing a lot for the last several years, because this is not really a forward-thinking industry. It just is not. Not realizing that it's not really the response that's changed, as far as the pricing, it's the response to the marketing sources that they've been using. So I would be very careful about talking about enrollment fees because only a small handful of the prospects that you have even are thinking about enrollment fees. You might get them thinking about a fee that they didn't even realize they'd have to pay. Try not to discount anything if you don't have to, unless you're, a $9.99 club. Then price is your great advantage.
Okay, great, thanks. Our next question, Bill, is what would be the 3 most effective ways to market personal training?
So PT sales, one of the things that we notice, and again, going back to search, if you rely on search for a heavy part of your marketing allocation, you're going to find that not only do people come in and purchase the highest price memberships at the highest levels that compared to your historical averages, but that people come in and purchase ancillary within the first 2 to 3 weeks at a much higher rate. What we also like to do is with our free trial passes, we like to give away fitness evaluations. I love fitness evaluations because when somebody comes in for a trial pass, it's something that costs us nothing but gets them in front of one of our fitness directors who can in turn sell them PT. What I recommend, and something that Club OS does very well, is text messages going out once somebody does join. There's been a lot of hubbub and there's been a lot of talk about who has permission to text people and will I get involved in a lawsuit. I don't think I've come across a club or a club brand that does not get permission to text when they have somebody sign a contract. So that's one thing that I would use wholeheartedly. Get them in for a fitness evaluation, get them in front of your fitness director. Got to remember, at this point in this economy, people are out there buying what they want, not what they need. So these are the type of things that you've got to sell heavily today. The economy could turn at any point. And at that point, ancillary sales, small group, personal training, they're going to take a bit of a nosedive. So you want to make sure that everybody that's coming in within the quickest way that you can, if you're not generating them by search, that you are sending them out text messages, getting them in for that fitness evaluation, and getting them in front of your people to sell personal training.
Okay, some good information there. The next question here that we're getting from Ryan says, it seems anytime that we are running local ads over the last 9 months for our fitness club, a boutique fitness, our cost for conversion has skyrocketed to over $100 per conversion. Does it make sense to run ads on Facebook for conversions? Should we switch to lead generation? We're struggling against the new limited learning feature Facebook has rolled out.
So a lot of the boutique, and by boutique I assume you mean more like a studio, and a lot of the gurus in that industry have pointed to Facebook as the panacea of leads because, again, it's easy. When you're setting up ads on Facebook, there's about 5 demographic or 5 marketing points that you have to set up, but almost anybody can do it. But when you're setting up things like PPC campaigns, those campaigns that we set up might have thousands of keyword combinations, thousands of text ad combinations. They're much more intricate. So again, I would be very cautious if you're putting all of your money into Facebook. Now that said, costs are skyrocketing. They have been for the last couple of years. The reason is that this is an industry that did not believe what was happening until a year and a half ago, let's say. Then everybody started to run over to this side of the boat. We have never seen a rush of clients like we've seen in the past 12 months, and they are a lot of times clients who just didn't believe what was going on, laughed at us in 2011 when we said direct mail was going away. So I would just buckle up as far as the price increase, because you're going to find that across the spectrum, whether you're going to search, whether you're going to social media. There are a limited number of eyeballs on both search and social media. It's not like direct mail where for 42 cents, everybody can send a postcard to house A tomorrow. It doesn't matter. 42 cents, you've got it. It sends it. There's a limited number of eyeballs on both. So on social media, sort of, but on search, definitely. So as more people come in to buy that media, the prices will go up. In addition, with all the private equity and now public money that you find in this industry, there are some fitness brands, I personally believe, and my team believes, that have a motive that is beyond profitability in the short term, and that makes it very difficult. Some of these big brands are coming in trying to crush competitors by raising prices up on the digital side because they know that by bidding very high, by pushing these media costs up, that they can either get people to discount their prices, which is what they want, slowly bleed them out, or that they can get them to sell or get out of that market. So I would segue, if you can, over to search if you feel like you have a good search partner. I would not rely completely on social media. Again, I know that all the boutique gurus are saying that, but they should also be telling you the prices are going up 20, 30, 40% every year, and that makes it very difficult. It's a tough situation. In the boutique side, you're also dealing with a bubble in boutique studios. I heard from one of the Piper Jaffray guys that there's 1,000 Orange Theories that have been franchised that haven't even been built yet. Boutiques are in quite a tough spot now. Unfortunately, what we do with our big box clients is we promote, hey, you've got all the best boutique studio offerings, not just one discipline, but all of these offerings under one roof, surrounded by the most modern health club. It's going to be very tough, and I hate to be the Grim Reaper here, but you'll have to figure it out quickly as a boutique studio, because it's going to be very tough, if not impossible, for you to compete with the modern health clubs that these big box people are rolling out that have every fitness option. If you're a spin studio, they've got spin, they've got yoga, they've got bar, they've got everything, and they've got a modern health club surrounding it. So I would diversify my marketing spend, but I would also be very cognizant of the market around me, because it's going to be very treacherous for studios going forward.
Okay, in the time left, we have 5 minutes left. We have 3 more questions here if we can address. Have you seen if boutique fitness studios have enrollment fees?
The only boutique studios that we work with are ones that are owned by our big box clients. So couldn't comment, not sure. Any way you can get a fee, I would get it. But again, because of what boutique fitness studios are typically charging, I would think that charging anything more than what you're going to quote them, which is, somewhere in that 160 to 190 a month range, when they can go up the street for $40 a month and get every boutique studio option and get a modern health club, I'd be cautious about adding new fees. You might just turn people off, but that's way out of my wheelhouse because we just don't work with a lot of studios.
Okay, and from Katie, given that every brand, even smaller businesses, can put money into digital channels, how do you stand out when you have a second to get prospects' attention?
Well, you've got to stand out by making sure that people understand the differentiating factors, the competitive advantages that you have. But also, you've got to make sure, if you look at the websites that we develop, you're going to see that people, for the most part, in the digital space, especially on the search engines, 93% of the people come in on general terms. What does that mean? Gyms near me, health clubs near me, fitness centers in Poughkeepsie, fitness centers near this zip code. Those are what we call general terms. Somebody's typing in a term, letting you know they're in the peak of the decision process, but they're not telling you what they're looking for. So one of the things that we like to do, and one of the things that we feel is imperative to bringing them into that funnel, is to show them several of your top amenities in the club and make sure that in that few seconds that you have, that there's something that they can grab onto for themselves. Childcare, cardio stadium with entertainment, strength training areas, something that they can click on and bring themselves into the funnel for their own reasons. We don't see a lot of, we design our websites based on, and landing pages based on the science of conversion optimization. And conversion optimization means that you've got fast traffic and you've got to convert it very quickly. So the best tip I can probably give you is to make sure that when you're targeting people on generalized terms like gyms or health clubs, that you give them something to look at and something that they might find is what they're looking for. Some people are just looking for cardio. Some people are just looking for group fitness. Some people need childcare. Some people are looking for strength training areas. Give them a little whiff, a little hint of those things on your front page so that they can potentially click on one of those and enter the funnel for their own reasons. Too many people in this industry are trying to shove prospects into buying patterns for their own reasons and not letting the prospects buy for the reasons that are important to them. And with the millennial buyers in particular, that's going to cause a lot of people what the Italians call agita.
Okay, and two more to go here. What is the best way to market to corporate accounts? Maria would like to know.
Can you define corporate accounts for me?
Okay,
you
Maria.
Mean like marketing to corporations?
Maria, if you want to put in here a more definitive definition around corporate accounts, if you mean enterprise, what we would call enterprise. If not, we'll go to the next question here. In regards to diverse options to increase sales, do you recommend putting all membership prices on our website? We are located in a live, work, and play campus, and that people that live, work, or live on the campus pay a lower rate than people from off campus.
So this is a tricky and sticky point for a lot of people especially who have been in the industry for a long time. Do we show our prices on the website? When we did focus groups and when we spoke to millennial buyers in particular, people who wouldn't show their prices made them very nervous because in an industry known for high pressure sales, those buyers felt that if they couldn't even see the prices, that they were just going to get super hammered when they walked in the front door. It could be a deterrent. So the thing about it today is I could back out of any website and go to any review site and see what people are charging. So it's not like you can hide the information. We have never been a big proponent of putting prices out there front and center, especially before somebody has entered into our funnel and seen everything that we wanted them to see. It's not good to show a price before somebody understands the value of what they're purchasing. That said, we're moving into an age that's different than what we've recommended in the past, where prices are out there. You're not going to be able to hide them. So once you know that people have seen what you wanted them to see, once you know that they've seen your value, don't be deflective and probably don't hide the prices as a lot of people are doing. It is a turnabout from things that we've recommended in the past, but these new buyers are just a lot different. And now that information's out there anyways, it can just serve to make you look bad. And also, some of the owners that we have and some of the groups that we have that were hiding their prices actually had low priced options. They had $19.95 and $29.95 pricing. So some of those might actually be doing themselves a disservice by not using the whiff. Hey, we've got memberships as low as. So don't hide them. Make sure people see the value before you put it out there. Don't just put it out there. But yeah, as Join Online becomes a much higher and more prevalent action, online enrollment, the prices are going to have to be out there anyways.
Okay, and Maria did clarify she does meet enterprise accounts, such as larger type multi-location corporations.
Yeah, Maria, hit the brick. Not saying go traditional, but B2B is what you're talking about there. There's two types of marketing, not just in the digital world, but in general, B2B, B2C, business to business, business to consumer. Business to business applications can be expensive and they can be like watching paint dry. Very difficult to target that specific buyer in that corporation that you're going to find that is going to sign up so that his corporation can get memberships to their employees or give a discount to their employees or anything like that. Not that we wouldn't love you to use digital to run it and use us for digital, but it's very difficult. In something like that, you might be better off, and boy, I hate saying this, but you might be better off cold.
Okay, I think we're past the 3 o'clock hour here. Thank you very much, Bill. We appreciate you answering all the questions today. So Bill, thank you for your time and the great presentation today. And thank you everyone for joining us. That concludes our session for today. Have a good day. Thank you.